when salt air eats through a coastal home's joists or a hurricane shifts the foundation, Joleen Sims is the one who gets the call. She runs a property restoration company. Her entire trade and her core philosophy in life revolves around finding things that are collapsing and bracing them until they stand strong again. That instinct to fix things naturally bled into her family life. After her father suffered a heart attack, Joleen moved back into her childhood bedroom. For 18 straight months, she acted as the family's invisible, load-bearing wall. She quietly caught up the delinquent property taxes, covered the gaps in the homeowner's insurance, and even co-signed her sister's auto loan. In her house, the unspoken rule was simple: Joleen lands on her feet. Because she was viewed as the strong sibling, nobody checked in on her or asked about her day. Her parents and her sister simply handed her the bills and expected her to carry the collective weight. Unspoken familial contracts operate on a dangerous assumption. They assume the foundational pillar will never crack, no matter how much external pressure is mindlessly stacked on top of it. That assumption was tested the day Joleen lost the biggest restoration contract of her career. A quarter of her yearly revenue vanished in a single phone call. Exhausted, she drove 3 hours inland to her family home, looking for a rare moment of emotional support. The family grapevine had already delivered the news of her bad day. But instead of asking how she was holding up, her mother and sister had convened a living room meeting. The only item on the agenda was demanding to know who was going to cover the sister's car payment now that Joleen was supposedly out of a job. Then her father walked out of her bedroom holding a flat cardboard box and began folding Joleen's work shirts into it. Her parents had decided that her sister and her sister's boyfriend were getting serious, and they needed Joleen's bedroom more than she did. Joleen watched the same hands that had taught her to swing a hammer pack her out of the very house she had been keeping afloat. She didn't raise her voice. She picked up the cardboard box, walked out the front door, and decided to never hold it open for them again. A load-bearing wall cannot hold up a ceiling it is no longer standing under. When you remove the central pillar from a structure, gravity immediately goes to work. That same night, sitting at her kitchen table back on the coast, Joleen began a methodical extraction from her family's financial system. She opened her laptop and quietly canceled every auto-pay that sustained her parents and her sister. With a few keystrokes, the property taxes and homeowner's insurance stopped. She killed the auto-pay on her sister's car loan. She completely stripped away her role as the family bank, forcing them to experience the reality of their own liabilities. The real-world fallout arrived exactly as math dictates. 2 months later, a tow truck backed into the family's driveway and repossessed the sister's SUV. Without Joleen quietly covering the gaps, the family had to scramble. Removing surface-level financial support rarely creates a new crisis. Instead, it strips away the paint and forces a family to confront the deep, hidden structural failures they have been ignoring for years. Those structural failures were worse than unpaid property taxes. A few days later, Joleen discovered the massive betrayal her parents had been hiding. 2 years prior, her mother had opened a home equity line of credit against the family house, using Joleen's forged signature. Now the fraudulent loan was delinquent. The house was collateral, and a massive chunk of debt hung squarely over Joleen's credit score. Joleen didn't scream. She mounted a legal demolition, filing a written fraud dispute, an identity theft affidavit, and a police report. While her parents were quietly draining her credit, Joleen had been quietly spending her own money on something entirely different. 3 years earlier, she bought a ruined coastal cottage at a county auction, but it collapses rapidly the moment it is subjected to the rigid light of legal documentation. On the day of the 80th birthday party, the restored cottage stood pristine and strong against the salt air. The caterers set up tables on the lawn, the windows gleamed, and the new porch railing held firm. As the extended family arrived, Joleen's mother took center stage. She raised her voice so all the cousins could hear, eagerly taking credit for renting such an exclusive, premium venue to honor her mother. Joleen stepped into the middle of the lawn and publicly dismantled the facade. She plainly stated that the rental company was hers, that she had purchased the house at an auction 3 years ago, and that her mother hadn't actually rented a thing. Cornered, the mother tried to maintain control. She exploded in front of the crowd, accusing Joleen of hiding her wealth, and then desperately tried to weaponize the fraudulent loan, screaming that the bank was going to take their family home. Joleen used pure facts to crush the manipulation. She told her mother, in front of everyone, that the loan was a forgery used to pay for her sister's lifestyle, and she would not pay a single cent for a debt she never signed for. A toxic private family narrative relies on isolating the victim. It cannot survive when it is cornered by indisputable reality in a room full of witnesses. Leaving her mother speechless on the lawn, Joleen shifted the focus away from the conflict and walked over to the true emotional core of the restoration, her grandmother. She handed the older woman a folder containing a life estate deed, guaranteeing her the permanent right to live in the house rent-free. After 50 years, her grandmother could finally watch the sunsets from her own porch again. The family dynamics immediately shifted. As the grandmother joyfully clutched the deed to her home, Joleen's father stepped forward. After 63 years of keeping his head down, he finally looked at his wife and told her, enough. The toxic system dissolved entirely under its own weight. The party ended, and the parents drove back inland to face the bank and the fraud investigation alone. Today, Joleen drives up the coast to a home where she is greeted with a smile. She arrives as a welcomed guest, enjoying the view with her grandmother, completely free from the expectation of being an open wallet. Setting boundaries is an act of structural preservation. You stop breaking your back to hold the roof up for people who only want your resources, so you have the strength to build a safe porch for the people who actually love you.